practice make perfect.
Who knows the answer to this riddle? Practice makes
Perfect.
Well, when I was 12 years old, Coach Bob Fulton asked me, what if you practice wrong? At 12 years old, I was pretty puzzled. I had no answer. He told me, perfect practice makes perfect. I sought out Coach Bob Fulton when I was 12 because I wanted to be a good basketball player. And he was somewhat of a local legend because he'd won a state championship with a high school basketball team about 20 years previously. And he did it with this ragtag bunch of players who weren't very talented, but he focused on the fundamentals of the game and building up the players' confidence and mental abilities. So I wanted to be coached by him in the summer. But there was a problem because his rate was $25 an hour. And for an unemployed 12-year-old, that was a lot of money. My parents wouldn't give me the money, so I got the lawnmower and I went and I cut some lawns to pay for my weekly lessons with Coach Fulton. I can still remember when I went there. It was along this winding road in this private community where he lived called Lake Hotto. And at the end of this winding road was the basketball court. It was outdoors and it was nestled among these birch trees. And we would practice every morning because in the summer it was hot. And I could always smell the dew every morning on the grass when we started playing at 9 or 10 a.m. in the morning. And when I first got there, I thought that I knew how to play basketball, but it turned out I couldn't hit a jump shot to save my life. Coach had all of these different techniques for learning the game of basketball. Numbering drills for dribbling, numbers 1 through 6, jump shots. In fact, there was an acronym for jump shots called GALS, G-A-L-S. Really simple for an adolescent to remember, even easier for a 30-something-year-old married man to recall. Now, I'm going to demonstrate for you the impact of GALS because it's very important. Now the G is the grip. When you're getting ready for a jump shot, you need to have soft hands. You need to be loose. So I'm right-handed, so the front hand goes, not too spread on the fingers because it's tense, but not too close together because you won't get the right push on the ball. So just about right when you're spread. And my wrist is bent at 90 degrees. And from the side, my forearm is also parallel to the ground. My elbow is bent at 90 degrees, and I have the proper grip. From the front, you can see my left hand, for those in the back. My left hand is on the side. It's not on the front or on the bottom. And that's the G, grip. And A is alignment. It's pretty similar. You start with the ball and you go up. And as you go up, you don't go to the left, you don't go to the right. You're keeping it all in line. And as you can see from the side, I have that same form from when I started at the bottom with the G. So from here, you want to shoot the ball, you straighten your wrist, and your arm, and you snap your wrist. Now, the L. The L is legs. So you need to really get everything into it. You got to bend your knees and get into it and jump up a little bit and make it go into the hoop. And S is stay. Stay is very simple. You stay in this position until the ball swishes through the net. And if you look at any great jump shooter over the years, whether it's Steph Curry, LeBron James, and of course Michael Jordan, they all exhibit the GALS technique. And I was getting the GALS technique for $25 an hour. Talk about a deal. Now, outside of all the physicality of acronyms and numbers to play the game, Coach is very good in terms of fitness. He would make me jump rope constantly. 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, 3 minutes on, 1 minute off, and so on. I didn't know it at the time, but apparently now it's called high-intensity interval training. So he was well ahead of his time. Another thing he taught me to do was during a game when there was a stop and play, and I was a little bit out of breath and a little unfocused, bend down, untie your shoe, and retie it. Even though it's not loose, just bend down, give yourself 5 seconds, 10 seconds, recenter, refocus. As far as I know, Coach never went to yoga. But he knew all these techniques somehow. Aside from the physicality and the GALS acronyms, the biggest thing about Coach was the ability to build up a player mentally. he was fantastic. And as an opposite, all of my coaches in basketball and every other sport, and all of my teammates across all sports experienced the same putting down, belittling by all the coaches. Once, when I was around 13, my feet had grown before the rest of my body, so I was a little bit clumsy on the court, and I would trip over my feet a lot. And the one time in practice, my real basketball coach ridiculed me in front of the whole team and asked me, "Did you trip over that line? No. You want me to sand that line down?" And I was embarrassed. He embarrassed me in front of the whole team, and I couldn't say anything. He was a grown man ridiculing a young boy. But with Coach Fulton, it was never like that. He never raised his voice. He never yelled. He was always positive. He always built me up. And when I would make 6, 7, 8, 10 jump shots in a row, he would stand there and he would smile. And he would say, "That's fantastic. Perfect. Good stroke on that one." And every time I went, over the course of 3 summers, I felt that we were equals. He wasn't my coach. I felt that we were peers. And once in a while, we would play one-on-one. He would always beat me, but I learned a lot from those lessons. Now, toward the end of summer, basketball season with Coach would always end, and I went to go play football because everyone on my basketball team also played football, so I kind of had to do it to keep up the social pressure, so to speak. And he knew that I never wanted to go to football practice. And he could tell by the end of the summer that I was always sad, but he would never say anything. But he would always ask me, "Why do you want to play football? You never know which way that ball is going to bounce." So I would go do that, and then basketball season would start. And over the years, looking back on all of these basketball lessons, they really helped me develop as a person and a character. And they're probably, in fact they are, my fondest childhood memories, not just playing sports. And you're probably asking yourself, "Well, Joe, I don't play basketball, I don't play sports. What does this mean to me?" Well, it's a lot more about that. It was about building me up, building my confidence. And every time I face a challenge, I think about that outdoor basketball court, nestled among the birch trees, and I could smell the dew on the grass in the morning. And I think about the drills we went through, and I think about the positivity. And when I'm facing that challenge, I go back there and I think, you know what? I could do this. So I want you to think about the time. It could be anything. And think about it. What does it look like? What does it smell like? Who was there? Who was your mentor? Who was your coach? Was it an aunt? Was it an uncle? And channel that energy when you're facing a challenge. It will help you tremendously, not only with yourself, but also with the others around you. So, I would like to tell you that even though I faced a lot of challenges, and when I started playing with Coach, I told you I didn't really know how to shoot a jump shot, but through the GALS framework, during high school, I was actually the lead free throw and field goal percentage person on my team, and also in our league. So it definitely paid off. But I never got to play college ball at a big name program like Villanova or North Carolina. But all the skills I learned really helped me later in life. And I didn't really know it at the time, but after years and years of reflection, I knew that I was practicing perfectly every day when I met with Coach in the summer. So I'd like to personally thank Coach Bob Fulton for teaching me how to get through life and be a better person. Thank you.